Hello, everyone. Welcome deeply from my heart. I'll be my own DJ and stage director today for this second soul-led roundtable, July the 2nd, 2025. There's so much that is happening in the world. There is so much that we need to face and take care of. There is so much that needs to be acknowledged, and leaders shall be called out. Today, I am focusing a little bit on calling out some names. I'll literally ask questions to leaders. Eventually, for some reason, they receive it, they feel called out. We want to be lovingly and soulfully provocative. The soul led roundtable has born because there's something that shifts in our humanity, on our planet, as a civilization, when we stop waiting and we start leading and taking action from soul in the daily habits, in the daily decisions, and in the daily conversations about matters like war, like hunger, like the pollution, like politics, instead of taking care of it from that space of convenience, because it's really bothering me. And that's why I decided to step in. And for now, I'm myself. This is the voice that you hear. Hopefully, it will be me together with you, co creating the conversation, us inviting some powerful, some authority to speak about how to take not even more serious, but more soulfully, more from love, from a frequency that is realistic and visionary, to take on things from the heart space, from that heart frequency. It's mainstream how from your heart frequency you can change your life. So why not from the heart frequency of our society? Why not from the new earth way of doing things? Should we face matters like the conflicts that are going on in the world? I do not stand for media sharing about the dynamic of how a bomb is being dropped on the head of people, as if it were just some strategy, as if it were just like, oh look, this is how cool the bombardiers and the and the bombs and the mechanism and the technology is, because this is how things are being shared, this is how things are being spoken about, and that is unacceptable. So this is why Soul Led Roundtable, and it is a roundtable. Right now, it's me. Right now, it's me talking. Right now is me going live. Right now is this open transmission to invite you to reflect upon it, to share this, to share it to others. I had to start. I could not wait in silence. I could not procrastinate it. I had to take that momentum, that within me, that fire, came up and it's like, let's just effing go. So welcome, take a breath, drop into your body, feel into your moment. Where are you? Who is surrounding you? You're not just attending another talk in this very moment. I would like you to make of this a space where your soul gets the mic. So let's begin asking our souls individually, because a global revolution starts from the ones that make the global. The global revolution starts from you. I'm here to remind you that. And this is not about complaining and pointing at the conspiracy. This is this soul led reality co creation. I want your comments. I want your questions, your questions, your comments, your interest, your support in sharing it to others is fundamental for us to shift from this human civilization to soul civilization, from this wounded society to a society that is able to finally take on real world global matters and challenges from a new and renewed perspective with a new approach. Too many of us are watching the world burn. Too many of us are watching the world from the sidelines, both because they've been put on the sidelines, subconsciously being wired and conditioned to scroll, judge, feel helpless. And someone is like, no, I don't want a part in this. It's not enough anymore to journal about peace. It's not that me sitting in meditation and with the Maharishi effect only, things will dramatically shift, because we have a challenge, we have a problem. The Maharishi effect, for the ones of you who do not know it, is that um, scientifically measured phenomenon that happens at a frequency and vibrational level when a certain amount of people, that's how they measured it, a certain amount of people sit in a city synchronized at the same time meditating, and at the same time 1,000 people, 1,000,000 people meditating, and the crime rate drops drastically in that city during the 2, 3, 4, 1 day, 2 hours or day that those people were meditating. So this is the Maharishi effect. But we have also the other people who are complaining and suffering at the same time, synchronizedly, which counterbalances the effect. This is why this type of conversation is so important. This is why we need to create peace with active presence, action driven clarity, collaborative decisions. And so, um, making sure that I don't miss anything. But basically, yeah, it will be inspirational until it becomes conversational, until you hop on with me. We do this every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Central European Time, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or 9 a.m. Pacific Daytime. Silence is compliance. We shall create the conversation. Silence is inaction. I called myself out. I must raise my hand. I was among the first ones, like, oh, that's out of my control zone and sphere. Therefore, therefore I shall not. Therefore I shall not think about it. Therefore I shall not merge with that topic. Therefore I shall not let it affect my field. And I was the first one doing that for that very good reason, because I was, and I still am, so extremely focused into uplifting others. And I was like, I cannot let that tamper with my field. And got no time for that. I need to stay in my powerful frequency so that I can help others. And I get it. It's true. It's so important. And we're past that point. We're enough so that we can create a powerful, empowering, transformational conversation so that every Wednesday, every week, and we rewire ourselves so that every day we live as a soul and take action in society. If we end up in a negative conversation that is draining and lowering our frequency level, well, we shift it, because we know we can talk about that openly. We know we can speak up our soul's truth, our heart's highest. And we need to train each other and with each other to do that. So let's call out the leaders. Soul, do not do this passively. Soul, respond. Soul, activate, move. They are bold. You are bold. I know that. Let's call out the leaders. I have an actual list. I have few questions. I want to make sure that this gets some resonance. And although I've been saying up until now that this is like calling out the leaders, it's actually a calling the leaders forward. It's big names. It's people who are shaping our world. If you happen to hear these words from a guy that is way, way, way much lower in the eating chain, in the hierarchy of the planet, I am inviting you into a deeper responsibility. Jeff Bezos, you have mastered logistics. You renting Venice, it costs you relatively as much as to me drinking a coffee at the bar. Now, what about the distribution of goods, of consciousness, of you're already distributing goods. But what about putting this power, this amazingness of you, Jeff Bezos, the creator of Amazon, this empire, this giant? What about putting that same power at the service of whomever has less, of who's hungry in the world, of who's not able to go to school, get some kind of level of education? Not that I stand for the traditional way of education, but how about showing the path to the world of how to bring the same incredible power you built Amazon with into distributing things that the world truly needs? And I'm calling you forward, Jeff. I would love to have you here. I'll call you by name, Jeff, Mr. Bezos, dear soul. Who knows if it reaches you? Elon, you're next. Elon Musk, you're engineering our trip to another planet. But how about humanity's journey to a better place with each other? You're a visionary, you're an idol, you're an incredible mind. You've been able to do things thanks to faith, the power of your manifestation, like boldness and perseverance and consistency, creating rockets that can go back and forth, rockets that land and are reusable. How can we use all this stuff for good? You're pretty much in charge in space, and you've got Starlink. So I'm calling you forward. And I am not trying to create friction necessary. I'm trying to bring us into a space where you guys actually have the mic and we get to co create. If you guys, Jeff, Elon, Trump, Donald Trump, come together, Putin, Mr. Vladimir, like I'm saying name here. I'm saying politicians. I'm saying mavericks, like giants of the industries. Macron, another politician. You know, if you guys could come together at the same table, imagine, and you everyone imagine, if you were in their position, if you were in the head of the state position. I know there's so much responsibility. I haven't been under that much responsibility. So I honor you for the gut, the balls, the journey of you. I want to call you forward because you've got something forgotten that you and I and all of the ones who listen and see this are on the same planet. And this is why I want this round table to be led from soul, not ego, not convenience of a few. We would all have absolutely enough. You would still be in the privileged position you're in. um, Another politician that was coming to mind, Sanna Marin. Sanna Marin. I hope I'm pronouncing. I think it's Sanna Marin from Finland. I believe she represents this modern and youthful leadership, right? What would it mean to turn that to install that same youthful and modern leadership, co-create with it, bringing the old with the new, understanding how we could all sit at the same table like they're doing in the Scandinavian countries, asking different questions like they did in Copenhagen. Right now, I'm missing the quote or the source of this, but they basically asked one question: how can I create city that is not car centered, but is human centered? They did, and Copenhagen became the most livable city in the world. In 20 years, they created this crazy environment, just changing the question. I know, Donald Trump, you want the best country in the world, and okay, awesome, but how can it be created from a soul led motion? Elon Musk, you want to go to Mars? I think great. Let's go to Mars. How can we do it in a conscious way, not just like running away from a planet that would be left dying in order to create the the spaceships that go to Mars? We burn the planet where we live from. I'm calling you forward. Jeff, how do we turn Amazon into a machine that delivers what the world effing needs? You guys are at the top. You have all this authority, you have all this power. I am calling you forward. I myself at the bottom of the chain, I'm calling you forward from the top. Um, I know it's a bold move, and I don't even know if you'll hear this message, but whomever hears it, please share it. Please let's see how far this message can go. I'm one of billions who would love to solve war from soul, to solve hunger from soul. At the Agenda 2030, so the Agenda 2030, this global agenda for the sustainable development of civilization, of human civilization. Let's rewrite it. Let's integrate it. Oh, the biggest of the earth. That was the NATO, the NATO summit last week. It was pretty much about how do we co-create how do we, sorry, how do we support that country in the world? How do we support that country in the world? Like, no, how do we all together stand for peace? Because there's no winner until there's a loser. There's no victory until there is an oppressed country or human or ethnic group. So this is three questions that uh, I came up. Simple questions, not rocket science questions, but for us to think through, right? So where in your life are you more or less silently allowing what you know being out of alignment? Like in your circle, in your family, because silence is compliance. Silence is allowing. Not standing up somehow is standing for. So where in your life, dear listener, are you silently allowing what you know being out of alignment, being off? If you're in a circle of friends and about gender equality, a friend gives a sexist joke, speak up. If you notice, don't let it go unnoticed by the others, normalizing the shit that is happening. This is question number one. Question number two: what is one micro? I'm not asking you big thing. Micro action you can take this same week that is soul led, that is not system fed. And I give you the example: Amazon.com. Jeff, I call you forward again. Amazon.com sometimes does not use policies that are very nice to the humans who work inside of Amazon. And well, maybe you stand for sustainability and you really want to buy that thing. You go and buy on Amazon because you're on a rush. Well, you know what? Buy it on some other more eco-sustainable platform. And Jeff, if you happen to listen to this, shift the direction. That is your this is a call forward to the powerful. A micro action of you is worth thousands and thousands and thousands of micro actions of others, because of the level of power and influence and authority that you have gathered and collected. Oh, heads of state, the G20, the G8, the G4, the NATO again, the ONU, um, the UN. ONU was like, it's my Italian. The UN. You guys, we need to update the way we play civilization. Is updated, is not working. Every Wednesday I am gonna go live with this Reframe soul-led roundtable to craft a new agenda, to shift the frequency. This is not rebellion, this is realignment. I want to do it with you, not against you. We're not here to rage against the system. I am not here to rage against the system, but I am. Oh, I had enough. So we're here to outgrow it together. And imagine I raise the following of billions. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna listen? I hope so. Therefore, I hope that this is exactly it. And it shall not be rebellion, it shall be realignment into daily soul level micro actions, and micro plus micro plus micro plus micro until it becomes such a macro actions that you don't need to fight over a freaking piece of land while killing the inhabitants of it, while media and news talk about it in a way that normalizes it and justifies the actions of a greedy few ones. And if you felt called out when I said greedy, and if you felt called out when I started like pointing the words and the tongue and the fingers, that means there's something that you can do. And I call you forward, I call you forward, I call you forward. It's time to create sacred boundaries into our daily. It's time to say no, you people, to fear-based conversation. If you hear someone is afraid, just hold space for a moment and say, hey, how can we shift it? Offer one action of kindness, offer to do it with them without performing, without saying, "Mom, better look, I understood," without like, hey, actually, you know what? Um, I understand that you're angry. I understand that you're frustrated. I understand that you're suffering. I understand that you're like and what could we do? What could we do right now that shifts the frequency, that shifts, that moves the vibration of the topic, of the conversation? Because when one of us does something and the other one sees it, it's two people already, and they go into resonance, that go into four, that go into eight, that goes into 16. And if you double it every day, if you double it, if you double one every day for 20 days, it already reaches 1 million. How mad. And the 24th day, it becomes 2 millions. Imagine, imagine if everyone who feels inspired by this, if everyone who felt inspired by these words would share it to two people, how fast it would reach the whole world. This is my invitation. This is my invitation. Let's shift the frequency and let's soul reframe the conversation that is ongoing in the world about anger, war, pollution, gender equality, um, the mass production. Let's reframe it and let's share these to two people. If you feel inspired by this message, share it with two people and invite them to watch the whole thing and eventually to tune into the soul-led roundtables that happen every single Wednesday live. Right now it's me talking, Ayrton Giulio Gonelli, but I want this to be a conversation, therefore create an actual roundtable with the leaders of the world I'm calling out in this exact conversation. Share this, it matters. And I here on and now propose the creation of the soul led agenda the soul led vision for the world. I propose that we begin co creating something bigger than just a conversation, actually. A soul led people's agenda, a soul led sustainability agenda, not a protest, and not an anti this or anti that, but a new field, a new manifesto where presence is more than policy. That if we create a policy and then we encounter something it doesn't go with, it's like, oh, you know what? Let's be human. Let's be soul. So where action is chosen, is not forced. Where leadership is actually earned. Again, like the greatest leaders on our planet, is earned through embodiment, not a status. It's extremely important that we all tap into this superpower that we got. This can grow together. We don't need permission. We don't need political permission, policy permission to create a soul led global agenda for how we do see things going better. Pollution, we can't create this agenda, and I know it's going an extra mile, but if you see something dirty on the road, do you pick it? Do you throw it in the bin? Do you make sure that it goes where it needs to go? Do you? It's fundamental. So, of course, receiving a call, getting distracted here. Let me wrap this up. If this space moved you, do not just live with inspiration, live with activation, live with action. Do not leave the space of momentum without an action that matters into your own life, into the life of someone else, into the circle you're living, into the environment you are influencing. You have a power of influence beyond imagination, way beyond what you can imagine. So if this space moved you, I want to um, leave from this frequency with you, and I want to sustain your momentum. I want to support you as you rebuild your life from the inside out. So the first invitation that I give you is that you check in with the environment of Four Souls. That is the brand that I've created, and that is what I'm hosting. Soul led, the Soul led roundtable with, and this inner over outer, my method to actually make sure that we're able to stay tuned into this level of frequency and take this action, and not let ourselves be burdened and oppressed by the negative conversations, by the continuous bombarding of media into our subconscious. We're able to rewire and shift into a version of ourselves that is masterful, that's like absolutely in charge. So this is the space that I'm offering you. You can tune into that, and and the second thing that I'm inviting you into is, if you're ready to sit at this table as a speaker, as a co-creator, message me for soul. You find, you find a way to message me wherever you're seeing this, whether it's on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on YouTube. Let's build the next roundtable together. If you have a very special perspective, approach, input, story. Just tell me, share it with me, share it with me. We will put you on next Wednesday, a Wednesday that is coming, 6 p.m. Central European Time, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 a.m. Pacific Daytime. Mm, What is that? 7 p.m. Uh, Eastern European Time and Middle Eastern Time. If this space moved you and you need support to stay into this same frequency and vibration, then let me help you and let me support you with my inner over outer method, with my soul led living um, container, coaching and guidance container. And if you're ready instead to sit at the table of the speakers at this round table, then message me and let's build the next conversation together. Once again, we have a soul led vision and agenda to co create. Let's talk about where we go next. Let's propose. Let's propose to the great ones officially with a global referendum the way they should be making decisions because it's on our behalfs they're doing that. So, are you ready? I'm so honored. I'm so honored I could hold space for this conversation to happen. I am so much looking forward to the next one. You, please remember how absolutely powerful you are. You remember how much you matter. You truly matter. You shall not give yourself for granted. Okay? So let's take a few seconds of silence, breathing in and out, recollecting within your consciousness what we have touched upon, what we have activated with our heart and soul. Feel what you felt and realize what type of action you could take. I thank you for hearing and witnessing this first, actually second call forward to the great leaders of the earth. I do foresee that this is going to be a very powerful and alchemical frequency raising series of conversations from soul with you. Um, I feel so absolutely grateful for having been the messenger for this transmission today. And I thank God, I thank creation, I thank all deities of the universe, the highest power. I can imagine a name. Um, I bless life that I'll hear from you soon to jump on um, into this co-creation, or so I can guide you actually, so that you can create in your life this same frequency and feeling. Your voice matters. Always remember your soul knows. Speak from there. Stay absolutely blessed and remember that you are the blessing. So live as such. Go now. And I talk to you next Wednesday.